Good morning, Samia. I hope you're well. Thank you for inviting me to talk a little bit about my experience and the changes that are happening in my country. When I met your father in 2018, he visited me at an event that the Ministry of Sports was hosting, and it was one of the culminations of the work streams that we worked so hard on for 2 years, which is one of the first sporting events where men and women could participate in as athletes and as attendees. Over the 2 years from 2016 to 2018, my team and I were responsible for PE in girls' schools. We were responsible for the first time that women were able to enter sports stadiums, which is something that was only a dream for young girls. We were also responsible for what was called mass participation. And what does that mean? That means that every man, woman, child, male or female, uses public spaces for physical activity, walking, running, jogging, riding a bicycle. And that was something that was not available to the women of my country until it was a government mandate. I was very honored to be given the directive to take the lead on writing the regulations for that. The process of writing the regulations meant that we went out and scoped the country and asked people, what do you want? And what we heard is they wanted to be together as a family unit, mother, father, son, and daughter. And the process was looking at the legal implications and the regulatory implications and the societal and the economic. And we could make the case that it was a positive every step of the way. And so the desegregation of our community was the desegregation of men and women and bringing them back together. And it's something I'm very, very proud of. That led to a series of reforms called the Quality of Life Program. And the Quality of Life Program looked at the quality of life of a citizen, a resident, and a visitor. And how can we, as the kingdom, be welcoming to all and accepting of all? And that's a program that still goes on. It's part of our Vision 2030, which is how does the kingdom become a thriving and ambitious and tolerant nation that is inclusive and one that has a strong and thriving economy. And as you all know, you cannot have a thriving economy if women aren't involved. The work that I've done prior to working at the Ministry of Sports was focusing on financial literacy and female inclusion in the workplace. And I was very, very happy to be able to continue that work stream from a government point of view and support all of my male and female colleagues to make this a reality where women are viewed as equals in our society. It was a very big piece of work, and it's work that involved men and women and has been accepted and acknowledged all across our country as new laws. And I'm very, very proud of that. The experience I had with Tutan, who's your stepfather, was one where I was able to show somebody from another country, which is a country that I grew up in and I love. I was in the States from when I was 7 years old until I was 30, and both of my children were born there. And so I experienced what it was like to grow in a thriving and dynamic environment. And I was so proud to be able to bring someone from that country, the United States of America, to see the work that we were doing in our country, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, to enable us to be that thriving and engaged community. The experience that I had watching Tutan watch children, boys and girls, dancing to music for the first international concert that had both young men and young women from my country in, for me it was like watching the Berlin Wall come down. And the experience I had when Tutan welcomed me to Atlanta was that I got to meet his family, and I got to meet Samia, and I got to hear from her experience as an athlete and her sister's experience, and I got to understand really the change that has happened for women in education, in society, and particularly young Black women, where there's still progress that needs to be made. But I found the similarities so interesting because the journey that my women are on is no different than the journey that the women of the United States of America is on. We just started at different points of view and at different levels, but we have to do this together because the role for women as equals is something that's critical for the success of the United States of America, as it is critical for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And I look forward to coming to Atlanta and actually seeing you all and meeting with you and hearing what are the aspirations of the young men and women of the United States, and to understand from you how you can help the young people of my country reach the aspirations that you have, and maybe you could hear from them what their aspirations are. And with that, I wish you all the best of luck, and I ask you to keep your hearts open, your minds open, and to engage with the rest of the world, because what you have to offer is just as wonderful as what they have to offer to you. Thank you.